day, all day, all day.
12 teams representing some of the biggest cities around the world. 72 of the world's most talented poker players with over $350 million in combined lifetime earnings will put everything on the line over 8 months to compete for the title of the first ever GPL World Champions. Which team has what it takes? The Global Poker League starts now.
Hello and welcome back to the Global Poker League live on this Tuesday evening. We've been watching so far the Eurasian Six Max matches. We've watched 2 of those. We're going back straight into the Americas Conference matches very, very shortly. So we watched the Eurasian already. We've seen the Berlin Bears take down a lot of points. Then we've seen the Moscow Wolverines take down a lot of points. Yeah,
some much needed points. They would have been last had they not won that match. And now they stand tied in 5th position with London. So the shock of the night is London in last place right now. But there's a lot of juggling going on within the standings, and I see the same thing probably happening in the Americas tonight. It looks like everyone wants to try their hand at first at one point. So we might have some serious juggling going on.
And Justin Bonomo probably going to be whipped by Miss Livbury.
He probably wants to do it himself. He's probably upset at the way things have gone. But as we mentioned earlier, Bonomo is such a solid player. Nothing much he could do in that position.
Tell us what we thought about both matches, kind of an all-round.
I think we got to see exactly what we thought we would see out of Dominik Nietzsche. I really do think he's one of the top. I mean, ranked number 6 on the GPI. That's not a coincidence. One of the top players in the world. He's been that way, Laura, for 7 years now.
Yeah.
He's only 25 years old and he's been on the circuit for 7 years. The first ever tournament that he had a result in was a first place win at LAPT Argentina. Nothing that Dominik Nietzsche does surprises anyone. 3 WSOP bracelets, a WPT Johannesburg title. It's just an APT title away from the big Triple Crown, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him do it within the next few months.
We were quite lucky as well, the fact that we got the webcam on Dominik from the very start. So we got his whole thought process from the very beginning of the Six Max, and he actually managed to go down and do first and then a second as well.
He's the type of player to give back a lot. He's such a great ambassador for the sport. We talk about ambassadors a lot. He is one that really takes that to heart and really does a great job in helping everyone out. And as 888 Poker, I'm sure very happy to have someone like Dominik Nietzsche on their roster.
Well, we've got some more exciting matches coming up for you with just a roster of huge names as well. We've got 2 ladies joining us this time as well, lovely Kitty Kuo and Xuan Lu for the Montreal Nationals. We're going to head over to the desk now. Griffin and Sam, over to you for a little bit more about the match.
Thanks, Laura. We're here at the GPL. I'm Griffin Benger, that's Sam Grafton. Second match of the day coming up. Really great heats to open things up here in the second week. Who's list of just some amazing poker players. Starting with Kevin MacPhee representing the New York Rounders. We're going to get our first exposure to Xuan Lu, Jonathan Duhamel. Just a lot of great talent here in this second star-studded lineup.
Yeah, the action doesn't stop. I spoke earlier about the strength and depth of the GPL, and every lineup is going to be tough and exciting. You mentioned there Kevin MacPhee, someone from the early online generation that's really matured into a consistent pro on the circuit.
Absolutely.
He obviously claimed the World Series of Poker Europe title recently, and already speaking about sort of his legacy within the game. An EPT title, now 2 bracelets, incredible live resume.
All happening within the last year.
Yeah, and an incredible online resume. So he's going to be exciting, and perhaps looking to imitate Jason Wheeler, who won a Six Max match for the Rounders this time last week.
The redemption story of this match today is going to be Fedor Holz. Obviously, we spoke a lot about how he is one of the best top talents in the game. Did not get the result he was looking for last week in his Six Max match. It's a chance for redemption here for the LA Sunset. He's going to be someone that's going to come out firing, and if there's ever a favorite to completely sweep, be the first person to ever sweep 2 heats, it's going to be Fedor Holz. But again, a lot of really interesting players to look forward here. I think the dark horse is going to be the representative of the Sao Paulo Metropolitans in Joao Simao. He's an unbelievable player, so I'm really excited to see him, see what he's going to bring. I think he's going to be really fun to watch against Fedor Holz in particular. Yeah. I think they're 2 of the best minds in poker, especially in tournaments, and it's just going to be like them playing the 100 rebuy on a Sunday on PokerStars. I mean, these guys are so fun to watch. Yeah, seeing their cards, it's really exciting.
I mean, you speak about Joao, and one of the exciting things here is we're going to see our first Brazilian representing the Sao Paulo Mets and being dealt kings straight out the gate.
Really helps. And they're going to be and it's great to see they're going to be beside each other. Fedor having position, but early on, and as we can see, the two guys we're having on webcam right now is Kevin MacPhee and Fedor Holz, and exciting to see what kind of dynamic and things they're going to have to say.
Yeah, and we obviously should touch also on Kitty Kuo, who's representing San Francisco Rush. Increasingly better and better results, seemingly year on year, and obviously made a huge final table at the Aussie Millions earlier this year. Incredible score for her, $189,000. Faraz Jaka picked her in the as a third round selection, so he obviously has a huge amount of faith in her poker abilities. I know she's someone that works incredibly hard on her game. I'm going to be really excited to see someone I don't know so well performing in this six-max match.
Yeah, and someone we've spoken not much about so far is Kevin MacPhee is going to open up the action. I'm actually going to let them sort of discuss this because they will be playing this hand.
Soccer training, so I have to eat something.
He's not still at school, is he? It's not after school football practice, is it? I'm just going to check. How old even is Fedor?
I think he's 14 and a half, he told me.
22, some life.
Looking great, too.
22 and all the money.
Little pretty boy.
So, interesting to see whether Kevin MacPhee chooses to defend here. I would imagine
definitely.
He would at this stack depth.
MacPhee with the most depressing webcam I've ever seen in my entire life, in the 30 years I've been on this earth. Looks like something out of a horror film, but I'm sure he'll, figure it out and maybe get a better one as it, increases. But Fedor, nice, but it's an interesting contrast, isn't it? Light against dark,
You're trying to hype it as another installment in the Star Wars trilogy.
That's exactly what I was trying to do. I'm glad that you saw that.
I get
Three playable hands here.
Griff, I get these pop culture references, don't worry.
Did Kevin MacPhee not defend the 7-8 suited there? It's a bit surprising. I think that given the sizing and the strength of the flop ability in position, I think that's a bit of a mistake from Kevin MacPhee. But again, such a small discrepancy. Obviously, a lot of these flops can be so close. Fedor Holt's not someone that he's going to want to tangle with a lot. Having said that, I think because he was in position, maybe it would have been better to have taken a flop. But again, it's very early on. They're just feeling each other out. So no fault to Kevin there for deciding to fold.
This is the reason, of course, you peel these kind of hands in the small blind. Kitty Kuo defending the king-queen, and she has Kevin's king completely dominated.
I've just been told that I shouldn't be talking too much out of hands to not cut off Sam and Griffin too much. But
well, you're already doing it, Fedor. You're not in this hand, and just get it together, man.
Fedor, you could talk whenever you want, brother.
Yeah, we'll shut up if it's Fedor, for sure. Should expect to see a check back here from Kevin MacPhee, hoping that he has the best king. I don't think he's going to be trying to look for value from Kitty here, because she wouldn't. Yeah, she would never really flat king 9 from the small blind.
Nice pot early on for Kitty Kuo. Well, must be a good feeling in your first ever GPL match to, take an early pot, just a little bit of confidence, settle the nerves.
4-9 offsuit and cut off. I think I'm.
I love that he had the hand he has to bring up because he's thinking about playing it. That's brilliant.
And here we're going to see our first thing we're going to see from Xuan Lu.
And Battle of the Canadians, too, the two Canadian representatives here.
Who obviously has an incredible pedigree herself, went 4th round draft to the Montreal Nationals.
And a great deal of success, Xuan Lu, on the European Poker Tour. This is someone who's final tabled, I believe, and finished 2nd and 3rd in 2 different EPTs for a great deal of money, over $1 million combined for sure. So definitely one of the strongest female presences in the tournament poker circuit, and someone I know personally, great girl, and she's going to represent the Montreal Nationals very well here. Obviously, Jonathan Duhamel, someone we haven't really spoken about much so far in previewing all these players. But, man, this guy won the main event. He's won the one drop. Unbelievable pedigree. One of the greatest players in the game and greatest stories in the last 10 years. So he's someone that, obviously, we're so thrilled to be a part of the Global Poker League.
Last 5 hands, so let's see.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yes, Fedor. Kevin MacPhee finding himself in a very unfortunate spot here, having flopped top pair against a set of Fedor. I mean, and an even more
Small bet.
unfortunate turn card. Big, big problems for Kevin MacPhee here. On such a dynamic board,
This
he can
year I'm just
pick a big sizing, I'd imagine, as well.
only enough bluffs to mix this up with, and he's never folding a 9.
What
He
a
might
turn card.
have, like, some 8 high. Ooh,
This is going to be
okay,
the undoing of
that's
Kevin
interesting.
MacPhee. An unfortunate cooler for him in the New York Rounders
I
early on
played
here.
quite a bit live with him, and he's been fast playing hands on the turn a lot. So it's definitely reasonable, and I think especially against that sizing, like his size doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, because I have such a polarized range. I mean, I could have like some overpairs, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously it's okay, but I think against most of the players, he just hasn't here a lot. I'm thinking about going all in and just getting value from like
8-9.
his 9-8, 9-3, 8-3 suited, whatever, but I just played the way I played against everyone. Just call, call.
Fedor obviously reading the situation perfectly here.
Obviously
But
can still have some bluffs. So
you expect to
could
shove
be
in a call
5-6.
here a lot, Sam?
Could be. Some Jack 10 with backdoors, but obviously I'm not folding. But I don't think there are like any cards where you're slowing down. I'm not getting the whole stack.
Yeah.
So I just get like this very tiny extra here. So I don't know. I mean I would always call, but if I don't have any reads, it's like fist pump call on the turn. But yeah, I just felt like he has 8-9 here all the time, and might be that he's
Oh, a
slowing
little preview
down
of Xuan
when,
Liu there, I
when the
believe.
backdoor flush hits or something. But I don't know. I think then he might just try call it or something. Probably jamming himself on literally any card. I don't really see many cards where he's not getting stacks in. So even though I think he has it pretty much all the time.
Yeah, amazing breakdown
That's
from
fine.
Fedor Holz. Such a clear understanding of where he is in the hand.
Absolutely.
And actually revealing he has a pretty strong read on Kevin MacPhee's sort of turn tendencies. Amazing, a little insight there into what's making Fedor Holz one of the most exciting players in the world.
Absolutely. Clearly super unlucky for Kevin MacPhee right out the gate. A 2-pair against a set. A big hand, a really interesting hand here between Kitty Kuo and Jonathan Duhamel, the LA Sunset and the Las Vegas Moneymaker representative. There is the beautiful Xuan Liu in her.
By the way, on the turn, I thought
Very
he
nice.
raised
That's a
to
great
8,000,
backdrop. I'm
which I
digging
thought
that,
was too
and
big,
always
but
have
then I
creative
saw
hair
the 6,
going on. So that's
obviously
cool to see.
downsizing.
Fedor still analyzing, but really interesting pot here between Kitty and John.
Yeah, it's difficult for Duhamel because there are 2 flush draws, a lot of combos. Kitty's going to be barreling And this is going to be a hard, tough card for her to barrel. I'm sure she would have bet the river on bet a lot of rivers. Don't know whether this is going to be one.
And there's a hello from the wonderful Xuan Liu.
Forced to surrender. Unlucky run out there for Kitty Kuo. Lot of equity versus Jonathan Duhamel's actual holding.
Yeah, and a great two-barrel call down by Jonathan Duhamel. He's someone that has very, very good instincts and can be pretty sticky. Obviously, has a great deal of experience playing cash games at some of the highest stakes. That was where he really cut his teeth before the success of the World Series of Poker. So definitely an incredible talent, and he's probably, in my opinion, the best player on the Las Vegas Moneymakers, and that's why Chris Moneymakers decided to throw him into the fire here, and already locked up at least 1 point for Las Vegas with that early exit from Kevin MacPhee.
Yeah, everyone will be super happy to see Kevin out the way, both because he's a dangerous player, and as you say, it means that everyone at the table will lock up at least 1 point.
And it means we get to look at Xuan Liu instead of the dark background of Kevin MacPhee, but it ended up working out in the end.
And Fedor's going to be right back in the action with the King Jack.
A lot of really playable hands here. It'll be interesting to see what happens between these three players in this position.
Kitty going for a slightly larger 3-bet sizing than we've seen in general from players, but I don't mind this strategy.
Kitty. Again, forgive us with the webcams, guys. We're obviously just trying to figure this all out, and we should have them back on their cams as soon as possible. But for now, you will be able to hear them play and obviously break down when they feel like it in hands that they're involved in. Xuan Liu opening up the action here on the button with a pretty standard raise with the 10-9 off and getting it through.
Just to remind you guys, these guys are playing for points, not for money. This is the Global Poker League. Everyone has locked up.
Global Points League.
Everyone's locked up at least a point. The next person out will depart with 1 point, then 2 points for a fourth place finish, 3 points, 5 points, and 7 points for a victory.
One thing that we haven't remarked on is how dangerous it is for everyone at the table that Fedor Holz played one hand and has doubled up. He's going to be such a force in the Global Poker League, but particularly in this heat, getting that early double. And, when he doubles up early on, I think it locks him in for top 3 every single time. But obviously, as the blinds increase, more variance. So we'll see what happens. But this is definitely, an enviable, not a great position, especially for Joao.
Yeah, of course. We saw Vladimir Troyanovsky in the last match we saw in the Eurasia Conference, got a big double up early on, and he did indeed go on to get second place. So certainly puts Fedor in a commanding position in this 5-handed.
And again, the most important dynamic, in my opinion, of this match is going to be between Joao and Fedor, because I really think that they're probably the two strongest tournament players amongst the field of players. That's not to disparage any of the other players. I mean, I've played a lot with Xuan. She's excellent. I played a lot with Kitty. She is so dedicated to her craft, always studying, always working. And, of course, Jonathan Duhamel, someone who's won the World Series main event, and the one drop, and I'm still saying that I think the other two are maybe a slightly better tournament players. That's the kind of player pool we have here in the Global Poker League, and it's exciting to watch and be a part of.
Yeah, and a Shark Cage commentator in the booth, a Shark Cage winner in the booth.
And a Sky Poker representative. That's just huge, And Laura Cornelius.
So Duhamel flopping best here. Not a huge amount, you wouldn't imagine, for the other two in the pot. Obviously, one of the things, going 5-handed is going to make the action even more fast and furious. The blinds coming around quicker, more cut-off button, small blind confrontations and the like.
And that is a lot of shitty cards.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that about Joao. I agree he's got an incredible online pedigree. He might make a few strategic adjustments just because Fedor's on his left, and now with that covering stack as well, of course. I think if he played a slightly more tighter strategy than he usually deploys, I wouldn't really blame him for that. Yeah,
so he's someone I think that a lot of people are going to see. Obviously plays a very, very aggressive style. Here we have an open from Fedor Holz.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And
Normally he would just be going after it, but he's gonna really respect Fedor, especially after that early double.
yeah,
through
and
Kevin MacPhee.
likewise, I think you can see with this 7-9 offsuit open, Fedor Holz probably using a slightly looser strategy than he normally deploys if he was slightly shorter stacked, or if he had players perhaps that he had a tougher time dealing with on his left.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to the presence of, a figure like Fedor Holz. This is obviously one of the young guns of the game, an incredible year in 2015, and of course, I think that he realizes that, not to suggest that Kitty and Xuan are going to let him run them over, but he's certainly going to get a lot of respect from those individuals. You saw how quickly he folded the King Jack because he doesn't really think that Kitty's going to come after him that much. So it would be interesting to see if Kitty or Xuan decide, okay, I'm not going to buy into the hype. I'm going to try to battle this guy because that's the way that they're going to be able to, get all the chips and get the most points for the San Francisco Rush and the Montreal Nationals. But again, it's a difficult process. It's a difficult thing to do, and against a guy like this, some real pretty red holdings here for Fedor and Jonathan Duhamel.
Yeah, we will try and get Fedor back for you guys. Obviously, loving Fedor. Such a I think in his deep run in the World Series of Poker main event, he really showed the world that this kid, as well as having incredibly high-level skills when it comes to poker, he's got a lot of personality, he's got a lot of character, and he's not afraid to show that on camera and at the table. So he's a perfect fit, really, for the GPL and for the webcams. I think that's, of course, why he went #1 draft to the LA Sunset. Tough spot for Duhamel without
Absolutely,
a backdoor.
Yeah. It's a great bet from Fedor, and the reason why he decides to bet so small there, I mean, he might end up jumping in if he's still on the mic and explain it, but the reason he's betting so small there is because he recognizes that the kind of hands Jonathan is flatting from the small blind include a lot of Broadway, similar to his hand. He obviously doesn't want to check back and then just like he's obviously going to continuation bet, but he doesn't really need to make it that big because John is usually only going to float with hands that have like backdoor flush draws, and in that particular case, he had diamonds, he wasn't interested in the hand. It looks like we are getting someone back here. It might be Joao.
Kitty flopping best here against Fedor.
Flopping Fedor, yeah. And I think something you...
I mean, this is another person, of course, who has huge amount of personality as well as being a very talented poker player. Kitty, as I said, putting together formidable results, but she also has a great Twitter presence, gives a lot of information about her thoughts, and when she's deep in tournament, a lot of very humorous tweets. Someone definitely to follow if you get the chance.
I think one of the things we're going to notice about this match, I think it's going to go very quickly. When we get that early elimination in that cooler, we saw it happen with Jungle Man and Dmitry Urbanovich earlier last week in the first ever match of the GPL. When there's that early elimination, they're playing shorter-handed, they're opening up their ranges more, and as long as they're the cards, the distribution as we spoke about a lot last week, and I think Fedor is someone we can watch really run over a table. I think he's going to be playing upwards of 40% of hands, given that I don't think he's going to get attacked too much by Kitty and Xuan. So it's going to be a really fun match to watch, I think.
Yeah, and that's great news if you're a poker fan, if we see Fedor Holz deploying a very loose strategy. And here we get Joao joining us on the webcam. We've lost Xuan, but we get Joao. So
I need to take care of for what I say, or I can say whatever I have or everything.
I don't think he knows that that he's on the thing right now.
And a big overbet from Kitty. Not 100% sure why she deployed that strategy, just given that she raised under the gun and is going to have something she could show down the majority of the time.
I love that we actually have Joao here on the thing because, like I said, I think this is the most important dynamic between him and Fedor Holz. I think that they're arguably, the two most dangerous tournament players in this heat, but, geez, it's just like... there's such a small discrepancy. I mean, look at the first elimination. Kevin MacPhee, what a year he's had.
Maybe it's going to be a case where Fedor just eliminates the webcams one by one. He's going to knock out Joao in a minute. We'll bring Xuan up. She'll be shown the door. And he just goes through the field, just the Fedor Holz.
And then they're going to be heads up, Fedor Holz and Kitty Could. Stay aside.
Did Kitty just lead that board?
Pardon?
Did she just lead?
No. I think she might have actually. Yeah, Kitty will do unorthodox things, and I think that you know, it's one of those things where she's going to try to throw off the other players. We spoke a little bit about the unconventional style of someone like an Anthony Zeno, who, you know, one of the things that makes him so successful, especially on the World Poker Tour and in the World Series this past summer, is he does play a bit conventional. He does throw people off a bit, and that's an example of it right there. Assuming Kitty did lead there with the Queen 6.
And
A lot of playable hands. So this should be
Yeah.
interesting.
we're certainly going to see Joao start things off with a race. Might not end there, though.
Looks like, based on the timing tell here, I would imagine Fedor 3-betting this hand, and it's going to become very interesting with Kitty in the small blind with the ace-queen of hearts. Just a flat. So really balanced timing then, I guess. I just sort of assumed, but this is going to be interesting to see if Kitty squeezes. Sizing-wise, I think we expect something upwards of 4,000, 4,500. So it'll be pretty interesting if she's just happy to get in these 55, 60 big blinds. Should enforce a fold from Joao, and then it's off to the. It's going to be up to Fedor if he decides he wants to appeal. Obviously, he's considering his options now. He loves the hand. He wants to play it, but it is tough. He doesn't really think Kitty's light much in this spot.
But I think Kitty is pretty nutted in this spot, I think. So I guess I still too good of a hand. And
Action-packed board here.
too good odds.
And really tough spot now for Kitty Kuo. Outdrawn on the turn and with under pot back. Fedor Holz with a very good turn against Kitty's hand. And she's in a horrible position now. When the stack to pot ratio, the SPR gets this low, it makes these kind of decisions very, very tricky.
Tough with aces here, huh?
Amazing that Fedor, such a theoretically sound player, has these strong live reads. All in from Kitty Kuo.
Wow.
Fedor.
I mean, that's a really interesting hand because like there are really not many value jams here.
Super tough spot with Fedor
I
here.
mean, I just don't really see her bluffing enough here, although it would be amazing if she did, but I mean, I have ace-jack here sometimes too, I have king-queen, I have rarely have, I mean, I think I really just have ace-jack and king-queen here that I'm calling all the time, I guess.
Very interesting hand. She has one of the few hands that he is actually beating. Very tough spot, and a nice semi-bluff here from Kitty Kuo.
That's an interesting spot. I mean, I think it would be like really nice if she has like ace 5 or ace 9 or something, but her value range is like, she's probably 3-betting a ton of ace jack in the small blind and probably 3-betting 10s, so would probably discount most of her queens the way she played, but like in general, I think I can just fold here.
Interesting to see if the time he's taking eventually gets him to conclude that she could have ace-queen in this spot, because that's one hand combination he hasn't mentioned. And what do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I think he's confused because Kitty's taken a hand that is neither a bluff nor a value jam.
Yeah.
It's really a hand that hopes for a fold, but
It's just like jamming aces here really doesn't make much sense against me. That's like, because I mean, I got pretty much have the only hand that I might be calling that is not like king 10 suited, king queen, or ace jack.
And this lends itself to
I'm
the...
running out of time, so I guess I don't know, she's chatting too. Would be really nice if she has like ace 9, ace 8 suited, or ace 5, but
Find it, Fedor. Find it.
I don't know. I'll just give it to her.
sick.
Great semi-bluff there from Kitty Kuo, getting a leg up there on Fedor Holz, and that's a great start for the San Francisco Rush representative.
Yeah, amazing to see. And how many of you guys at home probably thinking that there with top pair and an up and down straight draw, it's just an automatic call. But you can see one of the things we know about these high-level players is how long they spend in the tank. And then we're getting a huge insight into the thought process that goes into these big turn and river decisions.
Absolutely, and a great flop here now for Kitty as well. She'll definitely use that momentum. She's someone, in my experience playing against her, can be a very momentum-based player. Pretty good at small ball and stuff like that. So the fact that she was able to make that semi-bluff, an interesting lead here from Jonathan Duhamel without any backdoor flush draw. This is a bit unconventional. What do you think about this, Sam?
This is horrific, yeah. I don't know what he's doing. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
He's just attacking a texture, and he knows he's going to turn a jack,
I mean, I guess he's got a 7 in his hand. That's quite a good card, but... I got a fail for Kitty here. This is not going to expect Jonathan Duhamel to have a jack. Certainly not a jack 7 anyway.
Especially not jack 7 of diamonds, like jack 7 of hearts, maybe.
The Las Vegas LOL Live Pros showing us again.
You got a snort out of me there.
Yeah, I like. People
I get
don't
that
know.
from my mom.
Yeah,
She snorts when she laughs really loud. She's a sweetheart.
Okay, you're going to be happy to check this down.
She's definitely going to say, stay your side out loud. I wish we had her on cam, but we will, of course, get Kitty on cam at some point here at the GPL, and that's a day that all of us
I
cannot
mentioned
wait
you
for.
could follow her. You can find her at Kitty Quo Poker. I do recommend it. Very talented poker player and incred Twitter game.
Tomorrow, guys, at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, and 8:30 here in Europe. Alexander Luneau versus Dario Sammartino. These two guys are crazy talented poker players. Luneau, of course, was featured in that documentary about the highest stakes nosebleed cash game players. So, of course, a pretty standard pick here from the Pires Aviators to go heads up against Sammartino. But he is not a slouch. One of the best poker talents in the game, a regular of the Super High Roller Circuit, and a big hand here between Joao and Kitty Kuo.
Yeah, you can, again, this is one of the features of this first couple of weeks. You see these talented poker players have the confidence to have a much wider 3-bet for value range than we conventionally see, certainly at the stakes I play in MTTs. See, it's a lot lower than these guys. But real confidence, taking a hand like 9s versus someone perceived perhaps by Fedor as a little bit tight and 3-betting it for value. And this is the I Need Masari that you spoke about.
Yeah.
Very strong and aggressive player. Obviously, some of you won't know Joao as well as these big names like Jonathan Duhamel and Fedor Holz, but incredible pedigree online. In fact, this weekend, he actually took down a huge score of winning 167,000 in a 1K Omaha rebuy. But Jonathan Duhamel has taken to him a flop, and we'll see how he proceeds.
Jonathan Duhamel is a very sticky player, and he definitely, once he puts money into a pot, he doesn't want to fold. So Obviously, you know, a really loose flat here with the Jack 7 suited, but you know, he's someone that's always comes to play, and that's why he's had so much success, especially at the World Series of Poker.
Good flop, Duhamel.
Interesting to see a lot of 2.5xing at this 3-6 level. Not something that we've seen a lot of.
Yeah, I think in tough lineups like this, a 2.5x strategy is better than a min-raising strategy. All these players are going to defend close to optimally, and I think that's something you're going to see increasing feature of these games.
And this was the dynamic we were looking forward to seeing, and
I
they're
can't
both on the
open
cam.
his hands with Fedor on my left to fold, so when he double up in the start on my left, I have to be ready to play against him. Big pots.
Interesting to see Joao call here, but Kevin fold in that first level.
Fedor.
I think Fedor's going to know this is a bad flop for his range a little bit, but he does have all the overpairs in his range, which Joao doesn't have, so perhaps he'll see bet.
Yeah, obviously not an optimal flop for him, and I'm excited to hear his analysis.
Yeah, come on, Fedor. You were moaning we didn't give you opportunity to talk. Tell us what you're thinking, bruv.
He's just a little shook after the kid. He's probably watching it. I think he's watching it right now.
I'll play so bad.
He knows that this card is in my range, so
Wow.
he's really
Okay.
smart.
Nice hand, kitty.
A tip of the cap here from the German legend.
It's pretty sick. You can use that word about
We
Fedor
bet
as
small
well.
to
Legend, isn't he?
Yeah, even though
try
he's
to
like
make him
22,
be
12 and a half
creative.
years old.
And there you see another aspect of Fedor's game.
He's really smart.
C-bet isn't automatic. He realizes his particular hand doesn't have much equity, and it's a board that hits Joao, so he just surrenders.
John.
And another tip of the cap from Joao there, saying very smart player that he just check folded there. This is going to be fireworks with John and Joao for sure.
I expect to do Duhamel open a lot in the under the gun with the two tightest players in the blinds. And when I call, I don't expect too much squeeze from the blinds, just from Fedor, so I'm 3-betting a lot, so looks a good spot to 3-bet.
I love the way he says 3-bet. Do 3-bet. It's pretty gangster. Should expect to see all the chips go in here, I imagine, Sam?
No, I think a call is more standard, but obviously I don't know that much about how Duhamel plays. And also these two have, ICM isn't a huge factor here,
Right.
but it's not great for them to be in a
That
flip
time he
situation.
was in position, so it's easier to flat. Now, out of position, I didn't expect too much flat, I expect more 4-bet to fold. I can have hands like 9s, 8s. Not too much kings, flatting out of position. So I want to get value from the pocket pairs.
Great analysis here from I Need Masari, the online legend.
Safe turn, I don't expect him to flat with 4, any kind of 4, so. And it's a good card because he expect me to pot control this turn with the king sometimes.
Interesting bet size. My sense is this is a little bit unbalanced and that maybe he's choosing this hand to bet small and then check back, whereas he might choose a different bet sizing with a stronger holding or indeed a weaker holding.
Well, yeah.
But with you know, like I could be
Fold.
wrong about that, but
Well, I think that he
I
takes.
can check because when I check, he can get 3 cards with some clubs. And
There's the analysis.
when I bet the flop, the turn bet the river will be too much strong.
Yeah,
I believe it's easier for him to fold the river than the turn. So now here, I try to get some value from some jack, even 10 queen or 10 king if my blockers in a way.
Masari, a very deliberate player, perfect bet sizing. This is exactly what we were expecting, that him and Fedor were going to make the biggest flashes of this crew. Obviously, Fedor at an extremely difficult spot with King Jack. So easy to be results oriented. If you're watching at home, thinking that you should be snap calling there, but it's hard for Fedor to put Kitty on that hand.
well, it's hard to fault Fedor when he broke down his thinking so explicitly, going through the full range of hands that Kitty has there.
I believe it's a kind of equity hand, but not that strong, trying to pot control out the position. So I think it's a good opportunity to raise.
Wow.
If he had like 20 big blinds, maybe I just check because I don't want to give him the opportunity to limp shove.
Early on, Masari proving that he was an excellent selection by Andrea Cari and the Sao Paulo Metropolitans, and really exactly what we were expecting. Just a fantastic player, and I can't wait to see how it progresses. Him and Fedor in particular, but Xuan Lu has been kind of like waiting in the wings, so that's another fun thing to look forward to. Great shirt by the Met there. Vamos.
Fedor might lead this turn small. Actually, maybe with Kitty's stack size he won't, but it's not too unconventional to see the out of position player lead when second player pairs. Yes, he does indeed do that, just to protect his equity, get some value. And
great analysis by Sam Graffin there. Obviously, Fedor not as talkative after that hand, and that's kind of par for the course, isn't it? It's where it's he may be a little frustrated that he made that fold, even though I think in the long run it was probably the correct fold.
Well, I mean, he gave us a fantastic breakdown of this whole process. I mean, that's something that...
okay, Kitty. You know that I raise a lot on the button, so just showed me this ace X.
Should see a raise and a flat here between Duhamel and Joao, and they're also developing a very interesting dynamic, getting dealt very playable hands here, five-handed, under the gun one.
Well, the blind levels...
I believe this meta game, I can 3-bet call here, but I prefer to play in position and pot control my stack, safety. If he just fold my 3-bet, doesn't change too much my situation of this tournament, so it's okay to just let him play in position.
Spelling disaster here on the 4-4-9 one club board for Duhamel. Great for him, not so great for the Brazilian.
And try to get some value from his hand.
Interesting that Duhamel begins with a check.
Turn, keep that call here, 4-4-9 rainbow. His queen is jack, his king. Keep some jack queen with flush draw and straight draw back door, some king queen suited. So
really correct analysis here from Joao. Obviously, he's happens to be wrong, but it's obviously. John only has 1-4 in his range, and he actually happens to have it. So
7-8 suited with a backdoor like this. It's hard. So we'll get some value again. Here's another safe card, but it's board so dry he can just slow play me some kings or ace. I don't believe he's doing with tens or jacks, you know, this kind of quick cards, but
Sounds like Joao's going to find a check
I
here.
can shove to polarize my hand, but I don't expect him to call 3 streets anyway, so I'm just checking here. Ace 4.
Great breakdown there from the Brazilian superstar. Blind's really up now to 6-12, and that's what happens when we have these, long, deliberate 3-street hands, and that's obviously going to play to the strengths, I think, of a Xuan Liu and a Kitty Kuo, players that obviously have a lot of experience playing online tournaments, and of course it's going to favor Fedor as well. But the whole thing about Fedor is obviously that he's going to have a bigger edge when they're deeper.
Interesting that Fedor's chosen to 3x there. I wonder whether that's adjustment to Duhamel's blind specifically, or actually we're seeing him make an exploitative choice, almost like something you'd expect from a live pro, of altering his raise sizing because of his actual hand.
I think he also wants to deter Kitty from shoving by making it bigger there, because Kitty happened to have 10 jack, and there's an argument for her to shove if she thinks he's folding, kind of thing.
On the blind board. Duhamel. Okay.
I win the fight.
No action.
And it looks like we're finally going to see Xuan Liu get involved here, and obviously she's going to have a very tight image with the rest of the table because she hasn't had any playable hands yet, but she's definitely someone who's willing to open up her game. An interesting shove for this many chips. How do you feel about it?
What for me in the situation will be I think play this small blind against Fedor, the big blind. He's really good. He knows that I'm aggressive, so he will react a lot. But the players are always raising, so I didn't get any gap in the small blind.
This is going to be an all-in and a call here, and Kitty Kuo is going to be in a great position for a double up. Standard shove from Fedor Holz. And
Kitty getting the better of Fedor in this first match here.
If she can hold, that is. And that will do the business dead on the turn. And Fedor, after that great start, he made a big fold against Kitty Kuo, and it's swung back. The stacks have evened out, and it's I Need Masari, who Joao, Simao, who has the chip lead, and everyone else pretty evenly distributed. Not perhaps the way we would have predicted this match would have gone, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the guys adapt now that the stacks have evened out somewhat.
Xuan with the defend with the King 6, obviously working out here. Great board for her hand, especially against what John has.
Again, a situation where Xuan doesn't actually have too many bluffs when the 10 comes and makes a pair for all her gut shots, or a pair or a straight. So Jonathan able to get away from his hand out on the river.
This is a tough schedule when German team is playing against Real Champions League at the same time.
Oh, it's Wolfsburg versus Real.
Bad beat there for Fedor. as he reflects on how he's missing the football match.
This is the joys of online poker. You can watch a football match and play it online.
A sneeze fest in Brazil for I Need Masari.
I wonder if this is a legit tank from Kitty or if she's working on a Twitter game or something. Yeah. So just to remind you guys, this is week 2 of the GPL. We're 5-handed in a 6-max match here in the Americas conference. And some very strong holdings been distributed
Yeah, this
here.
is going to be very interesting to see how this develops. Arguments for Kitty, Xuan to go all in. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Well, oh my days, Kitty just folds. And this is going to be disaster for Xuan Lu, because I would expect a rejam here. With the amount of hands Fedor's playing, she has to shove here.
Good luck, I guess.
Bit too good to call here, obviously. Ace-Jack, maybe you can
Snap
find a
jam. Yeah, I guess.
Come on, Fedor, you nits.
Yeah, geez. You just...
6 low roll.
Ace-Queen has not been his hand today. He's either folding
I
King-Jack.
I could be wrong. Maybe this is closer than it looks, but... I think
It is
it's
closer
just
than it looks, but it's definitely a call.
Just a little net roll.
I really don't like that jam.
Yeah, neither did I.
I mean... A 10 to eliminate Fedor Holz.
A 3 for a chop.
Well spotted, bruv.
Pardon?
Well spotted. That's
Thanks,
why they
buddy.
pay you the big bucks.
I know, right? Eventually you'll get up to my pay grade, buddy.
And big double up for Fedor Holz, and Xuan Lu in deep trouble with 2 big blinds.
This will be a fun little dynamic in the blinds here between Joao and Xuan when she shoves here.
You don't think it goes old school and they just check it down, like back in the day?
This is obviously going to go 3 ways unless Fedor decides to do something and squeeze here. Definitely in the realm within the realm of possibility as we hear him clicking his mouse.
And I'd love to see an ace or a queen and or a clean run out and see Xuan stay in this contest.
Yeah, she can when she gets back to 9,000 chips here, she can definitely battle her way out of it. And Fedor really wants that 10 or 9. It doesn't come. We do not lose Xuan Lu. Some time for some redemption for the Montreal Nationals representative.
I'm I'm fine with her winning that one. That's okay with me.
And again, we talked about
right-handed.
who we thought were going to be the stars of this match, and right away we can see I Need Masari, Fedor Holz, they're the chip leaders.
You're not going to let us forget that you predicted.
No, never.
That
Listen, if I get something wrong, I mean, I'm going to deflect and try to make sure no one ever talks about it again. But if I get it right, you're going to hear about it.
I'm surprised he flats here doesn't try and put a bit more pressure on Joao, but this is Fedor Holz we're talking about. He certainly knows best.
Yeah, it's just I kind of like it with the game flow. It's just like he's 3-betting from the small blind already. He doesn't really need to battle against Joao out of position when he has position on normally. I really like the flat here, even though it does kind of turn his hand range
No,
benefit
but
shot.
Zhao's got to play low variance, yeah, when he's a
That's
covered
good point.
stack.
Absolutely.
I mean, not that, it would demolish most of Fedor's stack as well, but...
I just I'm talking less because I really have to watch out for my time bank.
And Kitty folds the best hand and improves the trips.
To play fast poker now.
And the river improves Fedor, and he's going to be able to check and try and show down. Wonder if Zhao does go for a bluff here. Got pretty much, well, what must be the bottom of his range. It's just what hands he can rep taking this line. Probably would have bet the turn again with an ace.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to give up, but it certainly does put Fedor on the range of like Queen Jack, Queen 10, King Jack, King 10. Not a lot of aces, obviously, so it's a tough spot for him to bluff simply because even though Fedor might only have a queen, like a Queen Jack, it doesn't really matter because it's just as much a bluff catcher as King Jack or an Ace X. So, yeah, Joao obviously opting to just give him that one, and I definitely think that's the right play.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of an ambitious c-bet. If Fedor doesn't even fold King Jack, it's not necessarily, going to be profitable.
I agree. I think I would have preferred a check back there. But again, we're the experts because we can see the cards.
Yeah, of course, of course. Kitty Quo picking up a big hand here. Unfortunate for Xuan, just looking for a spot to get her chips in. But even with three bigs, she's determined not to throw her tournament life away. And
Massive hand from Duhamel here. I would expect a limp sometimes and a shove from Joao fairly often. So
Yeah.
we might see an all-in confrontation here, and it's just spelling disaster for the Brazilian native.
oh wow, he balanced it.
Yeah, I think this
Oh
is
my
super
God.
close.
I mean, he is
Yeah.
going to want to shove the majority
I
of
used
his
to
range.
call this spot, but with Xuan Liu with 3 big blinds, 4 big blinds,
Yeah.
I don't expect Duhamel to shove light. It's 13 big blinds, so just fold here.
Great fold.
Yeah, good stuff
Yeah,
from
one of the
Joao.
best, and that's exactly why.
Yeah,
Vamos.
just to reiterate, obviously people not going to be necessarily as familiar with Joao, but just this weekend, getting an absolutely huge score, won a 1K rebuy Omaha comp, 167,000 the skeezer made on Sunday, and here just playing for points and pride for the Mets.
This is a
what
tough-
a sick world.
Yeah, very sick world. And the great thing about, poker,
Ah.
especially tournament poker, and I was going to say, I think Jonathan Duhamel might fold here because of Kitty's stack size. Super close spot for the Las Vegas moneymaker player. But what I was going to say about Joao, it's like, it's a snowball effect with success in poker. And I think anyone who's familiar with poker and play poker, whether it's for a living, recreationally, small stakes, mid stakes, I think you all know and you will all agree that when you win a big tournament, it definitely makes you play a lot better. It's a snowball effect. You ride the wave. So I think having that information that he won that 1K rebuy, Joao is going to play next to perfect. He might even play better than the Fedor Holz that we know, just because he has that confidence. And I think that's why he was my pick going into this to get the most points, him and Fedor.
And Kitty's going to be forced to call here, having checked back.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy call based on the sizing, and they should chop it up.
Yeah, Fedor realising there
Same hand.
that when Kitty checked back, that she never had better than King 7, so he was able to bet 2 streets for value.
And the weapons for Kitty here in the big blind
And it's going to be unfortunate for Xuan.
has had enough.
Yeah.
And we should get a slow roll here from Kitty. No.
And
9-8 offsuit's a pretty good hand to have
let's
against
see an
aces.
8. Let's see an 8. Or a jack at least for a sweat. That's a
That's
terrible
not the good
card.
turn for Xuan.
9 and a
She
9 only.
will probably be our 5th place finisher here in the first heat of the second round of matches here at the Global Poker League. www.globalpokerleague.com.
Yeah.
Connect with us at GPL.
And GG for Xuan. In this...
Gigi's, she definitely made a huge error with the shove with the ace-10, and that's why Fedor...
I mean, it's definitely not a huge error.
I think it's, huge is strong, but I certainly didn't like the shove. But she's a super strong player. She'll bounce back. She has another match to redeem herself for the Montreal Nationals. And fun, we're pretty short stacked here now. Obviously, Fedor with the chip lead, so it should be some fun runouts and some action-packed stuff going forward.
Yeah, Kitty's entitled to put a lot of pressure on Jonathan as the covering stack, but with the hand this poor, she's going to just limp in and then try and win the pot post-flop. She would have a lot of hands she shoved. And Duhamel, wow, really...
Did he shove that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, John's going to do unconventional stuff to push the small edges, and I know it seems like pretty bad or whatever, but this is just... Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that much. John will do a lot of things to try to just make some chips, and that's why he's been so successful.
LOL Live Pros.
LOL Live Pros, the Las Vegas Loler makers. The Las Vegas washed up main winners.
I mean,
Obviously an exaggeration.
Don't speak too soon. We've got my boy Cody. You're going to see some fandom.
Well, no, if it's the Las Vegas, he's won some mains himself, hasn't he? Obviously, just kidding. Jonathan Duhamel, winner of the one drop this past summer. I had the privilege of being in his winner's pick, and absolutely so thrilled for him. And Jonathan Duhamel just
And-
beside
and,
himself with that King 5
Be
fold.
interested to see how Joao plays this. Obviously, Fedor doesn't have too many King X when he doesn't raise in position. So Joao might be tempted to go for some thin value here on the turn. And also, Fedor sort of trapped in a position where he has to call down a little bit more widely because he himself is going to recognize how few bluffs he's got.
And you can see by the equity how huge of a dog he is, but this is a spot that he
You
needs
see
to call.
Fedor's instincts. Let's hear.
Pair is good, but
Here, I don't expect him to have too much kings. He can have like king 4, king 3, but I was trying to get value from some worse 8. Ace 8 if he showed me. Queen 8, Jack 8, not that good. So now I will try to. I can't bet small. I will try to represent a missed flush or some kind of ace jack that linked shows. So I will try to induce him to call me with the 8. And king he will call me for sure.
Yeah, no reason to call here.
Great. I mean,
Oh,
both players so spot
two
Masterclass.
on.
bad beats at the same
Absolutely.
time. Yeah, I'll just score.
Should see an all-in shove here from Jonathan Duhamel, I imagine, and it will get through. Obviously, Fedor does have the best hand with the ace-deuce, but will never call in this spot.
Yeah, and this is going to be a bit more common in this match. We're going to see a lot of, as the blinds go up, until we lose someone, we will be seeing a lot of shove fold poker. Things are going to get decided in the very near future here in the first America's Six Max match of the day.
Interesting holdings in the blinds here. I wonder if Kitty decides to limp fold again, maybe shove this holding, but open fold is certainly in the realm of possibility as well. The metagame is always so interesting, Sam, just, because they are eventually going to see the coverage. She's going to see that he did shove 9-4 suited, she is going to see that he did that. So it just creates a lot of interesting dynamics.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you to some extent. I mean, that's a strange fold as well. But, I mean, the thing is wouldn't you think that if these guys know they're going to play a lot of six-max matches, that they're going to work on their ranges and just have a correct limp call strategy, limp fold strategy?
Yeah.
I don't know whether you should
They
just
should
be
do, like, they
just
they
be
should do
doing
a lot
it.
more planning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, maybe they do, by the way, but
Right.
I think it's less about like game flow than just like constructing ranges if you know you're going to be playing this format.
A defend with the Jack 7 here. I'm sure Joao will take over the commentary and give us a break.
Joao's lax as well, by the way. Perhaps even more lax than Vovtroy was. He's just chilling, man.
Nobody is more lax than Vov Troy at all. Now, this is a texture that I think I Need Masari is going to attack a lot, and I'm sure he'll tell us all about it.
You know he can't hear you. That's like you throw to me. You're like, Sam's going to tell us.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Oh, there you go. And Kitty forced to relinquish. Interesting she didn't see bet that.
I like this flop for the big blind defense. So
Stacks evening out pretty much here. Fedor about 50,000, 40 for Joao, 25 for John, and 33 for Kitty Ko'o. This is the Global Poker League. I'm Sam Grafton. I'm Griffin Benjer. He's Sam Grafton. Thanks for tuning in, guys. No rest for the wicked here at the Global Poker League. We're going to be churning out these matches day after day for the next 3 days and the next 7 weeks. We're really happy to have you guys.
good
Happy to be
range,
here.
Fedor.
Fedor taking a no equity hand and taking that pot away from Joao. Par for the course. Really talented players.
And someone listening to mine and Griffin's
Thank you,
commentary in
Kitty.
the background. We'll try and get the producers, I'm sure we'll tell them to turn that down so you don't get it repeating.
Question on Twitch, what is the online name of Joao or Pires guy? That is I Need Masari, fresh off a huge score this past weekend, $170,000, winning the 1K rebuy I think it was the Dentale event on PokerStars, so a huge pedigree, obviously. Everyone from Brazil knows how talented of a player he is, and he was my pick along with Fedor to be the two most dangerous in this heat, and so far it's pretty much
Good
what
luck,
we
Duhamel.
expected.
Let's go.
Pretty awesome result here for Joao, obviously, dominating the 8-6 offsuit of Jonathan Duhamel. But that makes things interesting. And that's going to do it for the former main event winner. Jonathan Duhamel
No
is our
hearts. Good game.
fourth place finisher here in the first heat of the second match here at the Global Poker League, getting 2 points for the Las Vegas Moneymakers. And yeah, super tough field. And like we said, Fedor and Joao proving to be the most dangerous players in this field.
Do you want to? You said that at the beginning of the broadcast, didn't you?
I think I did. Yeah, it's a bit of a callback. It's like a comedy set,
And
It's just funny how I'm always
great to have two of these three remaining players on webcam as well, and they've both got strong holdings here.
Yeah,
so
this is a really interesting spot because obviously Fedor doesn't want to 3-bet call
Yeah,
off
3-handed.
the 30
I'm
big
raising a
blinds
lot on the button, so I just raised to call Kitty.
because he does not want to get. So I would expect him to flat here and then be three ways to this flop. Would you agree, Sam?
No, I think he'll
His hand's too
3-bet.
strong.
Yeah.
Would he ever But he wouldn't 3-bet to fold. But he has too strong a hand.
No, but
You'd have to call. But with the ICM and everything, it's been interesting with the point structure.
yeah, I think.
And I think that's what Fedor is considering right now. Just shoves. Very, very interesting.
Good job, Fedor.
Yeah.
I like
And these
that.
guys, obviously, someone like Fedor's going to have played satellites to big events, and he
absolutely.
knows that. Because obviously what happens is if Fedor has a confrontation with Joao, it's Kitty Quo who gains the most from that. That's what we call ICM, independent chip modeling. It's a very complicated concept, which we won't go into now. But basically, Fedor not wanting to 3-bet and call that hand, knowing he couldn't fold it, so taking the decision out of Joao's hands.
Here, I always defend here, but Fedor will put a lot of pressure with Kit short, so I'll try to. If 50 or 53 will be the same, I try to get the chip leader to pressure him, or I will get in a bad spot.
Great flop here for Sorry.
He's smart. He know that Queen 8-6 suited with flush draw hit a lot of my hand. It's not all the same, but I can't give free card with 2 flush draws. I try to get some value from 7s. Maybe 8 that try to control the pot, 6-7 or something. I don't expect him to check the 8. But he know that I'm very aggressive, so maybe he can just control the pot to don't face up check raise. Another good turn in the river. The queen makes him easier to call, give me missed draws. I can't bet small, but he will know that I have some value. I try to bet a little bit more than a half pot to get value.
He should bet way bigger than this, I think, with the 2 missed draws.
Because his hand is always good, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just about playing your range in a certain way. And there, Fedor, with a club in his hand and a jack in his hand, blocking both the draws, makes a quick fold on the river.
Very hard to take your chips, Fedor.
Of course, the bottom of his range also probably getting to that
Now
river.
I will stop to lead because I'm the chip leader and he's the second, so I can pressure him. I will balance my open haze rent. Terrible flop. I try to just get the spot against some 10, but he will float me a lot here, so he just check.
They're so
Even if
intimidated
he has
by
like 10
Fedor.
jack,
They're
he
so
call
intelligent,
me
yeah.
on the
They're
spot for
unbelievable.
sure.
Well, I was going to say he's pretty intimidated by
Oh,
Fedor. You know,
yeah.
he's already predicting that he's going to get floated and outplayed. Whereas I think that's the first chink in Zhao's armor we've seen.
5, 6, the same. Can have something like king 5, king 6, king 7,
King,
queen
keep going.
6, something like this. And when I bet this hand to call me and can bluff the river, so I just check.
Big river for Fedor Holz. Equities completely
He can
switching.
have queen 9, king 9, but the other 9s, maybe ace 9 trying to control the pots with king 2 like this. He can have all the aces better than ace 10 will 3-bet me, and the others, he have like jack king yeah. Is this here by the flop? Okay, show me the jack queen. Nice size, Fedor. You do check 10 jack flop in turn? I don't believe so. Yeah, you probably have queen 9, king 9.
Cold calling the hand, just unbelievable.
Nice hand, Fedor.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Joao getting very unlucky there on the river. Really interesting breakdown once again, trying to work through the hands that he could get Fedor to fold on the river if he were to turn King 10 into a bluff.
Absolutely.
Thinking better of it and then making the correct fold.
Here,
on the
just
river.
raise fold.
Very
Get to
impressive.
know that I have to call her a lot.
I could watch these two guys play poker like 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and
And
Kitty
she know
also
that me and Fedor are both really aggressive, and
put in a
if she waits, we can kill each
Amazing
other.
that Fedor just
so
folds there, doesn't even call or
it's not
3-bet,
bad for her to play tighter.
but it all makes sense the way that they break it
Watch
down.
the fight.
three fantastic players here. And although Kitty is way the shortest of the three, I wouldn't like to call where this match is going to head, where the 7 points are going to end up.
Yeah.
Just to remind you guys at home, these guys are playing for points for their team. It's not for money, it's for the pride of the individuals and also going towards the Global League points total. Kitty Kuo representing San Francisco Rush, Joao representing Sao Paulo Metropolitans, and
Kitty
Fedor.
to represent a double up here if she can hold against the King 8 of Fedor. Ladies for the lady. Can she hold and make Fedor the short stack here?
Kitty Kuo has bided her time, and this shows how close this match is. That double up means Kitty Kuo is now the chip leader.
Yeah,
a
it's
huge
amazing how
swing,
things can turn
and
around.
it's Fedor Holz who is short and on the critical list.
Tomorrow, guys, at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Troyanovsky versus Nietzsche. We got a little preview of that
Those
earlier
guys
today.
again.
Those guys again.
again.
The German versus
How much is Dominic
the
Nietzsche,
Moscow
Nietzsche
Wolverine
going to get to?
representative.
How often is Dominic Nietzsche going to get to play heads up on the global poker league?
I don't know, but he really showed why earlier today. What a pick! What a selection from Philip Grusom for the Berlin Bears.
He had to pick one good poker player though. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
I mean, at least, you know.
Kids should
Gotta
raise
stay
me to
balanced.
put pressure, so
Yeah, not crazy about this limp
They
for the
raise
same
strong
reason
hands.
that Heidi Massari just mentioned.
take off with him.
And a snap fold probably from Kitty.
And I should have probably just limped the king 8. But yeah.
Wow!
Sometimes.
Fasten your seatbelts, guys.
Massive. This is going to be a three-way all-in. I'm almost positive. If you're watching at home, a huge spot for Kitty Ko. This is going to be our first really big.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's only going to be. It's only whether Fedor can fold. Wow.
Wow, Fedor finds the fold, and it looks like Joao might unexpectedly be our third-place finisher unless he can find a fold somehow on a shove. Very unlikely, but really unlucky for the
This is horrible now
Brazilian
for
Yeah,
Joao.
superstar.
with the short stack, I don't expect a 4-bet light, so it's too
Wow.
obvious.
So sick.
So,
Griffin
so
Benja
sick.
there predicting
I
accurately.
mean,
These guys, mate,
unreal, man.
so sick.
Just so much better than us at poker. It's insane. What am I doing here? Fedor's had enough. Running out of chips, three-handed here. Kitty should be finding a fold with her suited ace. And then we will go off to the races.
Let's go.
And big flop for Fedor. Oh no, sorry, a set for Joao.
A lot of
I
backdoor
missed
potential
that.
here, though, for Fedor.
He needs a deuce on the river, otherwise he will be eliminated in third spot. And we lose
Oh,
GG.
the
Fedor.
boy
Fedor.
wonder. GG Fedor. Great showing from Fedor Holz.
Heads up match.
And
Not bad to get
shared.
this plus against one of the best players.
And great result for Kitty Kuo. She's obviously got to be so thrilled. And for us, Jaka, and the rest of the San Francisco Rush, probably waiting with bated breath to see if she can pull off the upset here against the superstar I Need Masari, one of the top talents in the game, representing the São Paulo Mets. The Brazilian native, just, again, someone we predicted that was going to make a huge impression in this first match, and he's really showing the world that he's one of the best talents out there and why he was drafted, and one of the only 72 players in the Global Poker League. Guys, if you want to follow the conversation with Sam and I, with other people, please, hashtag GPL, at GPL. Let's follow the conversation, get involved, and of course, we're going to be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But for now, let's watch this heads up. Kitty Kuo against Joao Samoa.
Yeah, and it's going to be a real thrill for whoever does win this. You know, this is both of these players' first appearance on the Global Poker League. And here we can see Joao flopping best. But, it's going to be, what a feeling to, I think we should point out, these guys, all very talented players in their own
Absolutely.
rights, but they don't have to put themselves out there. No one was forcing them to sign up for the Global Poker League, not even being paid huge amounts of money. And
They forced us into these suits and on the desk,
yeah.
but the actual players.
It's
different
very
story.
revealing. It's very scary thing to
sure.
play with your whole cards exposed for everyone to criticize and everyone to talk about. And these guys have put up a great show and can be very proud of their
I
accomplishment.
think we're trying to get
wherever they
Kitty
come.
on the cam and the mic here. I think she's having a little trouble so far getting it set up, but we're going to try to get that for you guys as soon as possible.
And, just shows the way these six max matches have gone. We've seen it a couple of times already. Those early chip leaders doesn't necessarily transfer into a win. Kitty Kuo was short for a lot of the match, with Fedor Holz being in the dominating position. But here she is, heads up, and competing for 7 points for a team. Whoever exits in second will get 5.
Think to check, KD. What were you thinking about? Trap me? Okay, I got to check. You convinced me.
And I think Kitty's tanking here while she's probably fiddling around trying to get her Skype set up. And now Joao should have probably be betting for protection on this turn
Yeah, I
card.
think Kitty just simply has to fold here.
Kitty with a little over 20, little under 20 big blinds here, and 5 minutes remaining on the level. She's got some amount of breathing room.
in the process of trying to get Kitty on the camera. Looks like she's just having a bit of technical issues with it. Disciplined just a flat here on 20 big blinds, effective with the ace-deuce. I think that she's probably going to be expecting Joao to be opening a lot of buttons, so surprising that she doesn't decide to take that shove with 20 big blinds. This is a tendency we're seeing from a lot of really good players. They don't make those shoves with the weak aces on 20 big blinds often because they're going to be really under-repped when they hit, and they want to reduce the variance, obviously.
Yeah, well, you need to have some aces in your calling range here as well, so you can't be attacked every time an ace it comes on the flop or turn. So such a low equity hand against it's got such little equity when Joao does call. And here we go.
And there's Kitty Kuo. Oh, she's my favorite, honestly. Such a sweetheart. So hilarious on Twitter. You got to follow her at Kitty Kuo. Poker? Kitty Kuo Poker? Kitty Poker, maybe?
That's the brand.
That's the brand, Kitty Poker.
Interesting. This is going to indicate whether Zhao's opening 100% of buttons, and no, obviously has a lot of respect for Kitty's game.
Oh my goodness.
For those of you unfamiliar with who Kitty is, she's an incredibly talented online poker
Yeah,
player.
I'm working. Awesome.
And that's her wonderful husband in the background, I believe, Russell Thomas, former
another-
main event final tableist.
Yeah, another legend.
Yeah, legends everywhere. Except in the booth.
Yeah, she has an incredible pedigree. Obviously, final tabled Aussie Millions earlier this year. Has final tabled WSOP events and WPT events as well. You know, really, really strong player. And of course, it went third round to San Francisco Rush.
Should see an all in here from Kitty. Everyone now reacting, I'm seeing on the Twitch, for the ace-jack suited fold.
Yeah, these guys as well,
Yeah,
I would say
so
they've
good
got the
at poker.
potential to be stars on the GPL. Both characters, I mean, I wasn't familiar with Joao as an individual, but he's shown a lot of personality as well. You know, similar to Fedor, talking us through our thought processes. His thought processes, I should say.
Adidas Gangsta saying on the Twitch stream, Samoa is a killer intellect. That was remarkable. A lot of, both say a couple remarks. Another one from Demi4, both played perfect. Amazing to see. Unreal from Fishing for Greatness. Yeah, again, masterclass poker. Just phenomenal to watch. Great turn card here for Kitty to turn some more equity.
Yeah,
She would definitely like an 8 if she knew what Joao's hand was.
so Kitty's probably going to continue to barrel when she turns the up and down straight draw, putting pressure on the weaker parts of Zhao's range, his 4x and 5x. This, of course, we can see is not a hand he is going to fold. And it will be
Nice
interesting to
try,
see
Kitty.
what happens if the river does brick off. And
This
Kitty's
5 hits too much my hand. Oh. She's playing a kind of pot control, so I will just fold.
Just fold.
what is that? Is that a fold?
Yeah, interesting. He didn't think that she would two-barrel there. Maybe a bit of a
I mean, I
small
think they've
mistake
got,
there from Joao, but
yeah, I think they've got a wrong
no
impression
one's
of Kitty.
perfect. Obviously. Yeah.
I think you know.
She's much more button clickier than
well, no, she's just playing correct ranges. She's going
Right.
to barrel her 6x.
Right,
She's gonna,
okay.
You know, I don't think you can. I'm very surprised to see him fold there. You know, she's going to barrel a lot of gut shots as well. I mean, really, really interesting fold there. I'd be interested to see whether he would have made that fold against someone like Fedor Holz.
Tenka is very good for me to bluff on river. There's no way he get better turn.
Terrible turn.
You need to give on the turn. It's not your card, you should bet. The point going to
You expect
try
her to bet the
check
king out
raise
of hand?
or should I just bet? I think I choose check raise.
Sick.
Check looks like Jack 9, Queen 9, Jack Queen.
Just check.
She can have some kind of face that call it flop, but I'll try to represent my king, that bet, and check to control the pot.
Do you think Kitty's going to be a believer here, Sam?
She's going to call 100%.
I'm going to punish you, bet too much value by your king.
She's going to raise. She's going to raise. She did actually say that. I wasn't sure whether she was.
Punishment incoming.
Yeah, she recognises that. Yeah, amazing. Don't know what Xiao's thinking about.
The Punisher.
Really interesting there, showing the sophisticated thought process of Kitty. She recognises that Xiao doesn't have any tens when he chooses to check back the turn, and so she's able to take advantage of that by check raising the river as a bluff.
Check, please.
8. Come on, one time. Jesus Christ. How can he wake us Jack?
A 6, a 3 for a chop, or an 8 required for Kitty.
Good. Double up. Unlucky of Kitty. Nice bet call from her.
And the match swings back heavily in the favour of Joao Simao of the Sao Paulo Metropolitans. 3 times the stack depth of Kitty Kuo now, and she's going to need to find some hands pretty quickly.
Should be a shove and then a tough spot for Kitty here, but actually a limp from Joao. I guess balancing and knowing that his hand flops pretty well.
I think Kitty's recognising he's not very balanced, you know?
Yeah. Nice shove there by Kitty Kuo with the computer hand. Interesting strategy here from Kitty with the queen 4 off. And everyone has a little piece.
Check. So, did you limp some 8, ace trapping me? So, 10s, 9s, okay. I had to bet to get value from 8s because she bet these hands. And I have to call anyway, so.
And that's a bad card for Kitty and a great card for Joao, because he's going to be able to get away very easily from his hand now.
Exactly. Interesting check back by Kitty there. I don't really like it. What do you think? But I guess she's not going to really get value, right, anyway?
Yeah, I guess that's what she felt. Very quick check, I mean. And again, we're going to have... Kitty's going to know her ranges in this sort of spot very well, I would imagine.
Interesting that she's deciding to limp these kind of hands.
Joao obviously turning a lot of equity. You guys can see it yourselves, turning a flush draw.
Something interesting to note is that the Sao Paulo Mets and the San Francisco Rush are at the very bottom of the Americas division, so this is really huge momentum for both teams. Again, the San Francisco Rush only 6 points right now, the Mets with just 7, but nobody had seen the likes of Anid Masari until now, and he's going to be a huge X factor for the Brazilian franchise. The blinds are, I guess they stay at 2-4, eh? That makes sense. Yes, we haven't really seen it them be at such a high level. So again, only what, under 40 big blinds in play. So
My tell is 12 big blind.
Joao with the trap with the A7. Kitty not gonna fall into it.
Yeah, amazing. Some people watching, if you haven't watched much poker, we're obviously on a high level where you're trapping with A7 off. Not something people see in their home games or at the local casino, but these are two of the best poker players in the world.
Yep.
Battling it out for points for their franchise. Kitty Kuo of the San Francisco Rush and Joao Simao of the Sao Paulo Metropolitans. Both players locked up 5 points, another 2 up for grabs, 7 points for the winner.
Come on, let me win this one. I need a point.
I'm sure both players would love the feather in the cap of saying they won the first 6-match they played for their franchise.
Oh my god, I was city out. I don't know how. Shit.
Close behind the shops in the way offshore. Oh my god, let's finish quick. Let me win this one.
Kitty obviously so competitive, so studious, and really wants to bring home the 7 points to the San Francisco Rush. And to be quite honest with you, as much as I'm loving what Joao is bringing to the table, I just really want to see Kitty celebrate a win. Because you know she's going to be so thrilled about it.
Maybe I can DM and call off when he's all
I was
in.
about to say.
It's too good to all in there. You can just do it there.
Something interesting to remark on, Joao with only 15 seconds left of his time bank. And Sam, why don't you let everyone know what happens once that time runs out?
I have no idea, mate.
12
What were you told?
I think it's
they get
puts you in the hot
hot-seated,
seat.
yeah?
Yeah, where
I
you
mean,
basically have to make a snap decision.
Yeah, you're the main commentator. I'm here for the,
No, I know,
for
but
the
I wasn't
witty
pausing.
bon mots
Oh,
and the detailed analysis, bruv. If we're talking in general terms, you should speak to the people. I wonder, has anyone told him? Because he doesn't seem to. Does he even realise that?
I don't know, but it'll be
But
interesting.
basically, Zhao's going to have to make his decisions incredibly quickly.
I think it's a great thing that the first hot seat the guy doesn't even know and he just folds aces. That's good TV.
And Zhao turning some showdown value. Kitty's going to hate this river.
But it should go check, check, I imagine.
Check, please. Just check. Yes.
And Kitty,
And the stack's even
you know,
out here.
it's been very
Let's take a normal game now.
small pots, but she's clawed her way back into it. And now the stacks are incredibly evenly balanced, although this is going to change that. Hopefully Zhao will become aware that he's going to start acting very, very quickly.
Interesting to see what Kitty does with the King 6. She does just flat and outflop Zhao. Great result for her here so far. How do you think Zhao proceeds? Does he bet call? Does he bet fold? Does he check back? Wow. Very disciplined check back there from Zhao. And pot control, you know, he definitely thinks he has the best
China
hand.
is
he can
really
do.
bad card. I cannot even better. I check.
Wow.
Hope he bluff.
Oh my god, I don't have time
Now
anymore.
we try
I
to
can't
value
bet in
better
the street.
river.
I'd love to see an overbet here from Kitty, or like a very, very big bet. Because she has so many bluffs getting to this river, and obviously gets
And he has
snapped
no
off by
time, so he
Zhao.
has to make snap decisions. And this is the
Why
great
do
thing
you
about the
have
hot
time?
seat.
I have time.
Obviously, Kitty probably hasn't realised that yet either, that he's got no time.
The hot seat's great. This is awesome. Snap decisions.
We have 15, 17 people. Let's go all in. Good luck!
And Kitty pulling away here. The underdog in this match for sure, but just showing how good she is at poker, and that's going to change things.
You've got a bocker. Why have you got to say that, bruv?
Opa.
Dear, oh dear. And Kitty's going to
Seriously?
need some help.
Fuck my life. Hey,
Ocho!
come on, give me eight.
Come on, let's see an 8. Doesn't change much. She still needs one of the 2 remaining 8s.
Ocho, Ocho, Ocho.
So unlucky for Kitty Quo.
We're not supposed to be biased and do like. I love Joao, but I do really kind of want Kitty to.
Mate, you had to
You know,
say that she's
it's hard.
pulling away.
It's hard not to root for both of them, but Kitty
yeah.
is such a sweetheart. So please forgive us. And this is going to probably be a double up if she can dodge the apple of Joao Simao. Just needs to dodge an ace.
Such a back and forth contest, excuse me. Kitty Quo doubling back up to 52k and 13 big
Never
blinds.
give up.
No
Never
one
give
could seem
up.
to finish the other.
Never give up.
Kitty with an inspired mantra there. Such desire from these two guys, such competitive natures on display here at the GPL.
And check if he shove is close, but I'm going to check. I'm going to just call. Our equity is too good. I don't want to check raise here. 8.
And now
It's a very good card for us on the turn. So
Kitty could lead here.
check.
Yeah, I really would have liked to have seen a check shove here, just because
I
now.
think we don't need to bet really big. Just bet 85.
I guess this is one of the few misses that she does have. This is going to be a
Well,
tough spot. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously she will check raise some of the flush draws on the flop
Right.
as well.
She'll
so,
check shove all the flush draws, I think,
yeah,
for sure.
so
Yeah.
So we have 15 big blind. Oh, let's go in there.
And you can see how difficult it is to close one of these six-max contests out. Kitty Quo right back in it now.
Please, please, please.
Please don't go. Kitty might be on the hot seat too, if this continues.
Well, I mean, this match might never end, bruv. We might be here all
Yeah.
night.
I'm just going in there.
Doesn't work, Joao.
He didn't want to gamble us, so we can shove so many hand there.
Or he's just getting dealt eight deuce off.
And this might be the moment.
Yeah.
To shove.
Super close spot. He has to make a decision right away. and
No,
he folds.
wow.
That's the great thing about the hot seat. What's he supposed to do? He needs to make a snap decision, and obviously he decides that Queen 10 suited is not big enough of an edge. But they're definitely an interesting fold. One that he wishes he could have.
I mean,
taken
I
his time.
assume he thinks he's got an edge on Kitty if he's
So
doing that.
close.
And Joao might have to call this. And he folds an ace
Don't
as
have
well.
time to think.
So he obviously
He's
is
definitely
looking
not
for
a heads up player.
I mean, yeah, Kitty did.
What did she say?
She said he's definitely not a heads-up player.
That's funny. She doesn't realize that he is on the hot seat, and little disparaging comment. But we should see the money go in now here.
Well, Kitty's been check calling more, but maybe she will.
Question is, he only have a 10 big blind behind, 11 behind, and we bet 2 big blind. Should I just go all in here?
We can't tell you that, Kitty.
Yeah, let's go in. Heads out, top is definitely good enough.
Okay, ace.
Please, 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 please. Yeah!
Good game, guys. Good game.
Great reaction there from the colorful Kitty Kuo, pulling out a victory for the San Francisco Rush, getting them out of the basement of the Americas division. You know, I thought at the end of this match I was going to say, but the real hero was Joao with the way he played. But Kitty proving can't be taken lightly. Fedor Holz a great showing, finishing in the final 3 there. Things just not really going his way, but a lot of fun to watch her react there and just celebrate. And such a character. You guys are going to love her here at the Global Poker League.
Yeah, you could see how much it meant to Kitty there from her reaction. Fantastic performance. And actually, Xiao made some pretty big mistakes there. Heads up, I think. Underestimated her opponent. His opponent underestimated how well she knew her ranges. Kitty capitalized on that. And a great victory for the San Francisco Rush. Congratulations to them. And congratulations to Kitty Kuo, who put in a fantastic performance. Also, we should mention great stuff from the guys on the webcam, everyone that contributed, and that really made it such an exciting match.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's head to the lounge, guys. We are going to have another match coming up, but Laura Cornelius and Eric Danny are going to tell you all about what to expect.
Thank you so much, guys. That was a pretty long match, and I love the fact we had Kitty Kuo there, screaming for joy, very happy to win the first 7 points for San Francisco
Never
Rush.
a dull moment when Kitty Kuo's online, but so many things happened in that match, Laura. Fedor Holz, who was desperate for time really early in the match. He was playing every hand, so really desperate for time. One thing we should mention, not only the time bank aspect, but once a player is eliminated, that time is shared between the rest of the players still in. So that's why Fedor, who was under a minute or close to under a minute at one point, suddenly had 4 minutes and stayed in the 4-minute range for quite a bit. But Joao was actually out of time. It was the first time ever the hot seat.
Yeah, that was the first time we've ever seen that as well. That was quite exciting.
It's sort of fun, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. The problem with that guy, he is so good and so good at internet online poker that it was no sweat for him. If it's a player like me that mostly plays live cash games, for example, it would be a major issue, but Xiao just did it perfectly, and he had no issues. He had the raise button ready to go and fine and ready to go. It was pretty exciting match.
At first we weren't sure if he even knew if he was in hot seat mode. I was actually getting a little bit anxious for him because I was thinking he's going to get a good hand here and he's going to end up wanting to raise and end up folding.
He was fine. He was fine.
Yeah,
just a crazy match, by the way, where the bottom 3 won most of the points and the top 3 gain almost 0 points, and we'll see when we show the standings. The standings are a mad mess right now in the American standings.
Well, let's take a look, shall we? Let's take a look at the standings right now after that match.
Oh, that is actually the match results.
This is the player results. So Kitty Kuo there, taking 7 points for the San Francisco Rush. Joao Simao with 5 points there for the Sao Paulo Metropolitans. Andre Caria, obviously very happy with that. Fedor Holz, who played pretty well, and it was nice to get his perspective of things, like a real mastermind of poker.
For sure. Poor guy, though, had to endure the Wolfsburg match as well. Champions League going on right now as well. So poor him. Jonathan Duhamel, his first presence in the GPL, had a few moves that left many people wondering what he was doing, but Jonathan has always been like that, likes to keep you on your toes. Xuan, speaking of Canada, fine performance by Xuan, and poor Kevin MacPhee.
I don't even remember him playing.
You don't remember that cam? That is my favorite camera setup ever in the history of the world. With the hoodie.
Kind of the dark side, wasn't it?
That's right, on the dark side with the hoodie. I can't wait. Kevin MacPhee, you know that he and Bryn Kenny had a nice conversation after that match. He will come back. He will be very upset.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the real Kevin MacPhee in this hand. Kevin MacPhee, by the way, over 7 million in online wins, 5 million live wins, 3 bracelets. APT Berlin champion from way back when, a true champion on the tour, and he's been around for a long time for a guy that's still so very young. So real deal, Kevin MacPhee, again, just proving both live and online what he can do.
We were naming the New York Rounders the bad boys of poker.
That's right.
And it was funny, wasn't it, when the webcams came on and you had like the sort of dark, ominous Kevin MacPhee next to the light,
angel.
sweet angel of Fedor for the LA sunset.
And we need to maybe to let the audience in on something fun, is that New York is the team we have the most trouble with getting registered for the tournament, getting on cam. It's part of the manager's philosophy, right? So, but it's fine. That's exactly, when we selected Bryn Kenny as a team manager, that's exactly what we knew was going to happen. And that's why we like it, because they still show up and they win everything. So why not, right?
Didn't go so well that time, but they obviously came in today with all of the points and as the leaders for the Americas Conference.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the standings very quickly, New York at 16, Las Vegas at 15, and there they are right now. So as you can tell, there's a 4-point difference between first and last place.
Yeah, it's tight, isn't it?
If this were a February or March standing in the EPL, for example, in the Premier League, this would be the greatest race ever. So the top 6 just right up there, 4-point difference.
Yeah, 1 point between first and second, the Rounders and the Moneymakers, then just 2 points between the next ones, the Nationals and the Rush. On the same there, or with 13 points, Sunset just 1 point behind with 12, and also the Metropolitans now with 12. Lots of level pegging going on in the American
and San
Conference.
Francisco doing what Berlin did earlier, getting those 7 points, just like Dominica and Nietzsche did for Berlin. And as you can tell, they're now in the middle of the standings. And Sao Paulo, just like Moscow, needed those points because they need to keep up in the race. So 5 points there is still not enough to get out of the basement. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this next match, and it should be another spectacular match. The debut of Jake Cody,
and
Triple
the
Crown
debut
winner.
of Chance Corner as well.
That's right, Chance Corner, the second best looking LA member with glasses on, now that Aaron Paul is now part of the
Don't
part
tell
of the deal.
Fedor that.
Well, he was not wearing glasses in that photo we saw. Sunglasses.
Obviously, Fedor was coming into today a little bit disappointed from last week, not scoring too many points for LA.
That's right.
So I think he can be pretty proud of how he played today, though.
I think he was proud last week as well. He tweeted out that he was fine with the way he performed. He was just upset that no points were scored that much. So, yeah, I think a third and a fourth and a fifth from Fedor Holz. But I think as a first-round pick and as the type of player he is, I think Maria Ho does expect way more out of him. So I'm not sure he'll be satisfied with the third, fourth, and fifth. Again, satisfied with the way he played, but still not enough to get LA in that top spot.
What do you think Maria's thinking process was behind putting Chance on for the second game?
I mentioned earlier that I really do think that she meant to play Chance both times, or to play someone twice. But I really do have a feeling if Fedor actually got involved and said, he was so upset at the way things went last week that he wanted in on at least one of those matches, and Maria finally giving way. And hey, third place, still a very good result for them. And maybe if Chance gets another 7, then LA would be in first place at that point, and pretty much happy about that.
And of course, Chris Moneymaker is the manager for the Las Vegas Moneymakers as well. He's gone with the same thing, picking a different player for the second game. Obviously, he picked Duhamel for the first one, and next time it's Jake Cody coming up. What do you think we can expect from Jake Cody?
Jake Cody, by the way, not only a Triple Crown winner, but a man who defeated Sam Grafton in Marbella by one position, 8th and 9th in beautiful UK IPT Marbella.
Marbella, Eric.
Marbella, sorry. Well, it's a UK IPT event, so how do we know how to pronounce it if it's in Spain? And yeah, it's a big win for that.
Anything we can find, any information to rib our commentators.
Let's
do it.
That's right. I did check, and Sam Grafton has never won the Shark Cage. Just double checking. That's right. No non-Canadians have ever won Shark Cage. So.
Right, we're going to go to a commercial break, but we're coming straight back with our next and final America's Conference match.
Can't get enough of the GPL? Head over to globalpokerleague.com for the most complete and up-to-date standings, schedule, stats, and information on your favorite team, as well as full-length match replays, highlights, and epic hands from all of our matches, and much, much more.